Hey, Mad Dog Nation, thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I got a bone to pick, gamers. After we're done gutting Unity, we got to go for Sony, okay? Is there any valid reason? I'm thinking of what word to use here. Because I'm sure the answer is it saves them like 3 cents per console sold. Is there any reason that the PlayStation 5 controller by default comes with a 3-foot long USB cord? That's madness, man. Like, this is not 1991. We're not out here plugging it into our console and then sitting on the floor directly in front of the CRT TV. People got their shit like wall mounted on the other side of the damn room. You just use it wireless. I like it when the corporations bend me over and take away my choice. Actually, it's really good that they got rid of the headphone jack on the phone because the battery life is better. At least until my contract when Verizon expires. And then as a result, my iPhone, weird. As soon as my 1-year contract expired, the iPhone battery started getting really bad. But that's okay. The battery's a lot better ever since they got rid of the headphone port. And so, plus the AirPods look so cool anyway. I can use them to listen to the football game that I bet on while I'm at Disney World with my family. You see what they're doing to us? You see what they're doing to you? This is DL Guiga, are you here? This is the energy I brought into that 30-minute Ben Aldis 90s ride. I joined that ride. I saw the person who was in first place on the ride. Their name was Let's Go Brandon, male 40s from Atlanta. And I said, you're not leaving this ride with a positive disposition, mon frere. You're going to know by the end of this ride that you have a weak heart, that you have weak legs, and that you have a weak mind. And I just ramped it up and started grinding it down. I was putting the organic peanuts in the whole food butter nutter. Anybody else 90s maxing right now? I believe I've invented the concept of 90s maxing. Now, I'm not sure, pardon me, if this is ever going to become a thing, but I'm staking my claim. Hey, cool seal. I saw you on the ride today as well. Thank you. Then thank you for the gifted subscriptions. I'm staking my claim, September 18th, 2023. If the Zoomers try to make this a trend in like 4 years, I'm happy to join them. I just want you to know I'm here first. What does it mean to go 90s maxing? You don't look up what restaurant you're going to eat at before you go eat at the restaurant. You just say, hey, we'll park in the neighborhood. We'll go to some place that looks cool. You don't purchase everything online. Instead, your ass goes to the store. You might even, if you're going 80s spec'd into 90s maxing, you might even go to the damn mall. I'm being real with you. I'm going 90s, man. I'm not rejecting the internet, but I think we've become too, and I understand the irony given this is my job. I think in my personal life, we let the internet take too much hold. Oh, I know, I could save 13 cents if I buy this on Amazon instead, and then all I have to do is break down 1,700 cardboard boxes when they eventually arrive at my house. No, you know what we do now? We support local businesses, okay? We park in a parking spot, and then we walk down a boulevard, and we look at, you know, that little picture frame at the start, at the front of a restaurant that has the menu. We look at the menu and we say, maybe not this place. And then we walk 3 doors down and we say, let's try this place instead. Spontaneity. Yeah, exactly. Look at this. By the way, you got it all backwards, Hard for Corn. Nah, I'll keep looking up restaurants while you eat at some shitty trendy spot. You got 90s pilled all backwards. It's your ass that is going to VancouverisAwesome.com. Ryan Reynolds just shouted out this classic Greek restaurant. We tried it out and figured out what all the fuss is about. Your ass is, oh my God, I've got to go to Minerva's. I got to go to Minerva's. My ass, your ass is eating at Minerva's, 4.4 out of 5. My ass is eating at Dragon Sushi, 2.8 out of 5. We're not the same. I am keeping mediocre local restaurants in business to foster a sense of community. Your ass is letting Instagram pick what restaurants thrive. And eventually, oh, this place is really good. This place is really good. Oh, they're opening up a second location in East Van. Oh, fantastic. Oh, they've opened up 8 locations. They opened up one in Calgary. Oh, they all fucking suck. The business went under. They all went out of business. Now it's another damn cannabis dispensary. We are not paying $18 for good lunches. We are paying $12.75 for mediocre lunches and keeping our community thriving, okay? You're from Vancouver, dog. Let's not talk about food. Here we go. Every time I'm right, ad hominem attack. You're just lucky you got the gift next to your name, okay? Otherwise, I'd be going a little harder. You just wait for it. We already had Chugi, okay? Chugi's over. We're going, and I'm not saying this is going to come true, but I have to say this so that if it ever does come true, the clip looks convincing. 90s maxing's going to be in. I'm not saying it's going to be like a dominant cultural wave, but when the 16-year-olds turn 24, they're going to be like, I'm 90s maxing right now. I'm buying high-waisted pants from the thrift store for too much money. I'm going to restaurants that have under a 3.75 out of 5 on Yelp. I'm going to a place where you'd simply look at the interior of the restaurant and go, oh, I bet that looks good. I'm buying some shit at the mall. And you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, yes, I would like a bag. We're walking around with a damn Discman. So true. We're walking around with a Sony anti-skip Discman with Women in Song 5 on it, going, do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. Limiting ourselves for the culture? What are you guys are such haters. Apparently, the only way to culture max is to eat at the same restaurant that everybody else says is like 2% better than the other Vietnamese fusion restaurant that's a block and a half away. What's your favorite ramen in Vancouver? Personally, I'm a fan of Damen Rambo. No, I like the Ramen Butcher. No, you go down the street, you go down to Richards and Granville, you got to go to Gojira Ramen. You can get karage in the ramen. No, you got to go to Kokoro Maze Soba. It's just down the street from that. It's right next to the A&W on Granville Street. No, don't go to Gojira Ramen. Instead, you got to go to Kokoro Ramen. Wait, I already mentioned that. Anyway, there's like 9 of them, but anyway, you get the idea. How do you know all these places? Because I fucking live here. I'm not pretending to be from Vancouver while living in Burquitlam like everybody else. My ass is paying the tax, and I'm reaping the dividends. Slash marker. Lies of P. Thought I was done peeing, zipped up, walked out the bathroom, 2 dribbles on my trousers. Call that Northern Lion Plays Lies of P, episode 1, square bracket. Let's get started. What the heck is Lies of P? Well, the first thing it is $80. Does anyone see how messed up this is? $80? I could buy 3 boxes of cereal for that these days. Or like a 2-liter bottle of Coke Zero. Anyway, it's Bloodborne, but Pinocchio. It's gotten mostly positive reviews. And I'm excited to check it out because honestly, I've been looking for a single player game to grab me for a while. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to throw shade. I have to say this because otherwise people are going to be like, what about, So I'm just going to head it off at the pass. Armored Core didn't really grab me. Armored Core, I bounced off. I fought Baltius. I bounced back in. I did a bunch of other missions. I bounced off. I fought another boss. I bounced in. But I was kind of like I was doing a sine wave the whole time. I'm hoping that Lies of P perhaps grabs me a little bit more. But first, I'm going to agree to the end-user license agreement, start a new game. Is there supposed to be audio here? Now lying. Bro, it doesn't say now loading. It says now lying because it's about Pinocchio. There is audio? Hang on, maybe my headphones are broken. I'm just being straight up with you. It's too quiet. Well, like, yeah, I need to check and see if my headphones are working. Let's find like long fart through door. Fart long through door sound effect. Did you guys hear that? Yes, I am not messing with you. I did not. Maybe they forced me to have a Windows update, bro. It was extremely quiet. Very quiet. It was like from the other room. What the heck? All of my outputs are maxed. Open sound settings. Speakers. DualSense wireless controller Windows. You're so stupid. Here's a rule, okay? When you boot up Windows for the first time, there should be a little toggle. You know how like when you pick a difficulty setting when you open a video game? And it's like, I've never played roguelites before. I'm a pretty good gamer. Beat my ass. I want the Windows version of Beat My Ass, which is like, hey, never fucking do anything except be Windows. That's it. Don't ever change anything. Don't ever change anything to the default browser just because I opened it one time. Don't ever change an audio setting on me. Don't ever move my monitors around for me. I want hard mode Windows, not permadeath though, because it do be crashing. Now, I got 1,900 different audio possible outputs here. What are we using here? I think we're using headphones, high definition audio device. See, now I can hear. Do you guys hear that? Now let's see, is this working? Hang on, I probably have to reopen the Google Chrome tab to see if long fart through door is working. Sorry, fart long through door. Should we watch David Guetta Ends Racism?
This record is in honor.
Yeah, okay, it's working. All right, episode 1. Let's get started. Lies of P, Bloodborne 2 square bracket. Here we go. Why did Ludwig tag you? Okay, normally I don't get involved in drama, but I feel like I had to put a stop to this. Ludwig said, hey, I'm doing this thing where I do like marble races, and the marbles are going to be like suggestions for challenges that other streamers gave me. Do you have any challenge that maybe I could do in like 15 minutes? So here's the deal. I told him that for me, what would be a hard challenge? He said it could be anything, by the way. So I said, is it crazy if I ask you to put on eye tracker, and if you ever look at chat, your 15-minute timer resets and you have to start all over again? And he said, you know what? That's an interesting challenge. Let's do it. Then, lo and behold, because by the way, the reason I suggested it is because it would be impossible for me. I have like 15 years of muscle memory of glancing over here. I'd be resetting the timer at least like 2 or 3 times, possibly like 20. Then, imagine my surprise when someone in my Discord, I'm not trying to put this on Ludwig, you know, I know and no plan survives contact with the enemy, okay? Imagine my surprise when people in my Discord said, hey, NL, you're Marble 1 in Ludwig's Marble race, but your challenge was kind of weak. All he had to do was close chat for 15 minutes. I was like, you got me backwards, brother. I had to defend myself. I did not say you got to close chat for 15 minutes. I said you got to have an eye tracker. So that's all I'm not trying to say that he did anything wrong, but it wasn't in the spirit of what I suggested. So direct all your anger elsewhere. Or better yet, have no anger, because it's just a silly little thing anyway. But I'm not mad at Ludwig. I simply had to defend the honor of my own idea, okay? You should be mad. I'm not mad. I quiet quit ages ago. I'm drinking the Diet Pepsi Wild Cherry. It's 9:46 a.m. I've lost control of my life. Morning soda, you're sick? You're sick! I've been up since 5:20 a.m. though. So like, if you get up at 9, that's like having a 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. soda. You know, I was thinking about how like fucked up we treated our bodies in college, man. We would have like 11 rum and cokes, and then we wake up the next morning and be like, oh, I think I'm sick. Probably like the equivalent of 20 units of alcohol and like 6 cans of high fructose corn syrup added caffeinated soda. and get like 6 hours of sleep and then wake up and be like, I got a runny nose. It's probably like 8 cups of coffee. Well, I guess it's not 8 cups of coffee. It's like 3 cups of coffee and a staggering amount of alcohol, like more alcohol than the public health unit recommends that you consume in 2 months. Like, dude, did somebody at the party, did somebody come to the party with like RSV last night? That's fucked up, man. And he'd be like, oh, I'm not feeling so well. Oh, wait. You know what would really hit the spot before bed? Why don't you have like 2 full meals from McDonald's real quick? Fall asleep in your winter jacket. Rose writing a car seat headrest song. Okay, listen. I don't know what that means. Sorry to talk over this. This is how I banter, by the way, if somehow you found yourself watching me for the first time. If you were here to just get the story of the game, without actually playing it for yourself. Oh, Daniel, thank you for the raid, by the way. I'll have you know, I've granted right of first refusal to Daniel.
So be careful with it.
I when I picked my build in Lies of P, I said there's no doubt in my mind that Dan went strength build, so you know what? I'm gonna acquiesce, if you will, and allow you to have the strength build. I will try to run a dex build so that people who watch both of us can get a little bit of differentiation, okay? And that's I do it as a sign of respect. Can I say though, now this is where I'm gonna lose you, Dan, possibly, and maybe some of the people you sent over as well, and I do appreciate it. I saw I'm not familiar with the band The 1975, okay? I know Peloton did a The 1975 ride in the All for One Music Festival, but I didn't do it because I don't know who they are. I do know who Matty Healy is because he dated Taylor Swift for 8 minutes. But then I saw it, I've never heard any of their songs, I swear. But I saw a TikTok, and the TikTok blew me away. It said, here's what the 1975 sounds like to people who are not fans of the 1975. And it was the dude who made the video on stage, and he was singing like, I'm in love with you, and I don't wanna do drugs with you anymore, 'cause this is a metaphor for the philosophy, androgyny, hypocrisy of the policies of Donald Trump. Let's do a bump of cocaine. You drive me insane. I'm giving it up again. I'm done with the heroin. Hey girl, let's fly from England to Paris, because I'm really in love with you. And I was like, I gotta listen to this damn band, because the TikTok knocking them is spitting, bro. I watched it like 30 times. I was like, this is crazy. They're awful. It sounded amazing. The parody sounded incredible. So don't get me started on sitting, okay? Maybe I watched that a little bit too.
Sitting is the opposite of standing. Sitting is the opposite of running around. And sitting is a wonderful thing to do because you sitting. Sitting is the opposite of standing on your head. Sitting is the opposite of hanging from a bar. But sitting is a wonderful thing to do. I got one thing to say. I think that sitting is something that people say it is bad. But you know that sitting is actually good because you deserve to relax. It's kind of like a nap. It's kind of like something else. But it is actually just sitting. Sitting is the opposite of standing.
Sitting is the opposite of standing. Sitting is the opposite of running around. Sitting is the opposite of hanging on a barbell. I'm sorry, what the hell is motivity, dude? I'm like, man, I really gotta listen to the 1975 though. That shit sounded like right up my alley. Is it gonna be one of those situations where then I listen to the normal band And I'm like, nah, take me back to the parody. Like, is it a Neil Cicierga type thing? It really got in my head, man. I thought it was a great TikTok. That's the mark of a great TikTok. Is like, I don't even have familiarity with the source material. And I was still like, I watched it over and over again. I didn't even have the opportunity to say so true because I didn't know what it was referencing. But what'd you do this weekend? Trying to remember. That's the mark of like doing a lot for sure. Yesterday, took my daughter to the playground. We had to come back for an appointment. My wife was getting her eyebrows microbladed. We had some sushi. I dropped her off at the microblading appointment. Me and my daughter went shopping. I don't want to brag. I got 2 new things for the shelf. These are prints of illustrations from a local artist. This one, you can't really see it. It's like an homage to Vancouver neighborhoods. And then there's another one behind me right here. It's an assortment of different styles of breads. The artist was Boebert from Vancouver. Drove all the way out to Hanam supermarket. Shit was crazy. Everything was normal price, but it was the busiest I've ever seen it, I think, in my entire life. But it's always nice to get some Korean food, don't get me wrong. Had some Korean barbecue for dinner. Came back home. Baby a bath, baby to bed. You know how it goes. Watched that one 1975 related TikTok 40 times because it was blowing my mind. And what the hell did I do on Saturday, man? I definitely remember doing a lot. I remember, whoa, golden dog. I remember being tired at the end of the day, that's for sure. I remember DL Guiga beat me on my cooldown ride. And I literally, as soon as the ride started, I saw DL Guiga. I sent him a high five. You can't send messages on Peloton, but the energy that I was trying to send with my high five was, don't stress about beating me this time. I am letting you by because I just can't hang on this ride. I burned out my legs on the previous rides. So I sent well wishes. I broke a champagne bottle on his Peloton and said, go ahead. What's the sure on that one? What's with the people that high five you over and over again? I think some of them have mental illness and some of them are just rude. Thoughts on the Lauren Boebert Beetlejuice handy? I haven't watched the video because I was worried that it might awaken something in me, honestly. That's my thoughts on it. I don't think you should do that. And by that, I mean vape in public. The hand job, whatever. It could be worse. I guess it could be better, quite frankly. At a local production of Beetlejuice, though, like, listen. Well, I guess that's the place to do it, right? I mean, if you won the lottery and got tickets to Hamilton on Broadway during its original run, I would be like, what are you doing? Wait till we get home. That's... Renee Elise Goldberry is singing Satisfied right now. Jesus Christ. During Dear Theodosia? Really? I have to call customers, but I don't want to. Any advice? It's not maybe, I mean, listen, I'm just a guy. I'm not saying this is definitive advice. All I'm going to say is one piece of advice that I have for you is hold on to that nugget of discontent. What would be truly terrifying is if one day you woke up and you went to work and you were like, I'm so excited to call clients today. That's a troubling sign. You ever read 1984? That's like the end of 1984, man. There are 4 lights, okay? So I would definitely say maintain that nugget of discontent and do it anyway. Streamer ass take. Here's 10 ways to get yourself psyched up to cold call a client in your B2B healthcare software business. Tip number 1. You get the idea. Why do you always respond to these questions so insanely? Well, I go, what do you want me to say, man? I don't know. Yo, Papi, I'm literally like a dumbass. People are coming in here, they're going like, hey, give me like one sentence that can save my life. And I'm like, I don't fucking know, bro. You need to talk to a damn therapist or something. I mean, you're not even asking like a guy. You're asking a guy streaming Polish Bloodborne on Twitch TV. Like you seem to be under the opinion that I have the answers and I'm choosing to obfuscate them from you. I do not have the answers. So I might as well at least be like entertaining, you know? Which index fund do I pick? Well, that depends. Are you in Canada? Are you in North America? Are you in... What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I'm so excited for the date. I have to update you with the exciting goings on in my life. The girl texted me the frick back. NL strikes me as a VEQT kind of guy. First off, thank you for saying I'm a VEQT. Secondly, you're 80% right. You know what? I was trying to workshop a joke, but it needs to be very delicate, okay? Because if you do it wrong, people won't laugh, they'll take offense. If you do it right, people will take offense, but they will also laugh. And it's something like this. Motherfuckers always tell streamers that their job isn't real, as if entertaining people isn't a more real job than being a project manager at a B2B healthcare software firm. Motherfuckers will always be like, hey, streamer, get a real job. Meanwhile, they're a project manager at a B2B healthcare software firm. Something like that. Just let it cook a little bit. Stir the pot. Stir the pot. Why is that your specific example? I mean, I don't have anything against project managers. What the hell? It just seemed like one that could get people to laugh. Can I get more examples of real jobs? Okay, of course. The dudes on the, you've seen the videos that are like, why don't men do this work anymore? And then it's a, like two dudes on an oil rig and there's like a pipe that's just belching coke or something like that. And they're like, they're at like the mud factory. And they're like, the mud's spilling everywhere. Come on. Oh, good. We've reconnected the mud pipes. Now all the precious mud is flowing where it needs to go in Ohio. The company kills like 50 employees a year. That's not funny, man. That's not funny. Oh. That's a real job, though. There's no doubt about that. Farming, yeah, farming's a real job. Am I kind of going sicko or what? Well, not really. I'm on 0 files. Anybody else's computer just go through like 80? My controller's completely disconnected. Okay, that's a bad start. Hello, my controller, my Nintendo USB-C cord. I didn't realize the first boss would be like Psycho Mantis, bro. Next he's gonna insult my ETF allocation. He'll be like, really, bro, as a 34-year-old? You're 20% in bonds? Brother, you don't understand! Jack Bogle. Jack Bogle said never invest in foreign stocks too. Yeah, but anyway, we don't need to go down this road. Being the best to ever do it, it's a blessing, it's also a curse, is the interesting thing about it. Okay. He's coming out of his cage and he'll be doing just fine. I'm insane. I'm officially crazy. I have none stam. I have stam. Don't blow. He's dead. He's so easy. So easy. You fucking suck. Is there a crouch button? Can I teabag him? Parade leaders ergo. And don't forget about the quartz. This game is Korean? No, it seems like it was made by some Korean developers, but as soon as it comes out, it belongs to the gamers. So it's American. This better not awaken anything in me. When they ordered the well done ribeye. No! You know, I saw another tweet that it resonated with me a lot. You ever see the tweet that is like an interesting phenomenon about the internet? Is that sometimes you will see something so outwardly horny that it's actually completely non-sexual. Like you'll just see a cartoon character with such enormous breasts and such an unbelievably absurdly scant outfit that you're like, it's not even sexual anymore, it's just comical. That's how I feel whenever I look at the replies to promoted tweets about mobile games, which I do oftentimes. I think they really, I'm not saying everybody has to agree with it, but I think they actually summed up my opinion. So I always I've never been into the outrageously well-endowed anime ladies, you know? Whenever I see someone that's like, holy cow, look at her boobies, they're so big and barely covered, I'm like, see, this is she's all covered up, she's got some modesty, and now I'm like, what's she hiding? It plays on your imagination a little bit more. You can level up through Sophia using the ergo in your possession. And listen, I'm actually not just having a good time. So far, I'm having a great time. Can we get a normie translator on every single video game ever greenlit for production? What is all this shit? Ergo, Fable Arts, Pizza Cutter Wheel. Whatever happened to HP, XP, Stamina? Whatever, why do we gotta come up with it? We gotta reinvent the wheel every single time? Whatever happened to gold and mana? Did you ever win an F-Zero race? Gotta wonder about society sometimes. People will come in and ask questions like that. They're like, I love NL, I never miss a stream. I need to stay updated on all the comings and goings of what happened. By the way, I missed the last 4 streams. I think I'm at 75 wins, okay? And we told some sweet jokes. And dropped some trenchant wisdom about what to do when you have to make a phone call but you don't want to, okay? I only watched Librarian, so I don't know. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer because Fauna did her 3D reveal this weekend. And as a result, Librarian is a little sweepy lately. He had overlapping priorities, okay? I'm sure the video will come out eventually, but not today. I already put out an F-Zero once. What the hell? What, did it include footage from the second stream where I actually figured out what the heck I was doing? A lot of F-150 frame? What the hell? There's damn pickup trucks in this. Both a Lada and an F-150 are cars, right? You know, I was driving home from North Road Plaza, Hanam Supermarket, not to brag. We were on the highway. Anyone else driving westbound on Highway 1 yesterday around 6:15 p.m.? Okay. There was a car accident. Everything slowed right down, okay? There was a car crashed into the median on the left side of the road. There was a police car. There was a fire truck. There was someone holding a child, comforting a child while the police talked to them. It was a macabre scene. We slowed right down so we could, nobody's crashing in anybody. We could get by. As soon as we got 100 meters away from the crash site, everybody started driving like fucking maniacs again. I was in the HOV lane. I moved over one lane. A motorcycle whizzed by me at 180 kilometers an hour, followed by 6 white BMW SUVs. I'm like, are you actually stupid? You just saw an accident on the highway. Like, what do you think caused the accident? A skill difference? Like, you just saw the consequences of your actions. But they were like, oh, I just slowed down to 30 kilometers an hour for 90 seconds. Now I need to drive 180 kilometers an hour for 10 minutes to make up the difference. Vape place closes at 3, man, come on. I have a conspiracy theory. It's not really a conspiracy theory in the sense that, like, I think there's some grand plan. I guess it's not even a conspiracy theory at all. In Vancouver, weed has been legal for like 9 years, 8 years, something like that. Even before it was legal, there were dispensaries everywhere, which is what I don't care at all. When it became legal, they passed like a local law that they had to have window coverings. You know, they had to have like vinyl stickers that covered the window. The idea was that they don't want kids looking inside and being like, oh, Sour Patch Kids, I can't wait to turn 18 and like eat those. But anyway, it's not a big deal. Eventually, the dispensaries petitioned the city. They're like, hey, our asses keep getting robbed because as soon as the robber gets into the store, nobody's ever going to know that the store's being robbed. So can we please take the window coverings off? City said, you know what? Good point. So this is like the first few months where I've been able to look in these dispensaries as I'm walking around Vancouver, and none of those fuckers have any customers in them ever. What's going on here, okay? I'm used to this in a lot of industries. You know, you walk by like a Sleep Country Canada, there's nobody in it. Everybody's buying Casper and Endy mattresses online these days. Nobody's buying $3,500 coffee tables from the mid-century furniture place or the weird clothing store in the mall that's not like a chain. It's just like one lady runs it and everything kind of looks tie-dyed and homemade. The dispensaries, I kind of thought there were people going in there window shopping. Like when you go to a brewery or a BC liquor store, you're surrounded by people. In the dispensaries, there's nobody, man. Nobody browses. I thought that was the whole point, is you go in and somebody's like, oh, if you like that lemon pound cake sativa, you'll love this fucking Doja Cat indica. Takes me 2 minutes inside the dispensary. Yeah, but wasn't the point of legalization that it wasn't just like degenerates picking up the usual? I thought like, you know, all our moms were going in there and getting their first edible or something like that. It'd probably take, if my mom went to a dispensary, she'd be in there for like 45 minutes, okay? I got to imagine occasionally I would see a customer inside of the store. They did 9 years ago? Why the hell everybody taking their sweet time at the brewery then? Beer's been around since like fucking negative 100,000 BCE. And people are still like, oh, whoa, a double IPA? Named after a quote from fucking Wedding Crashers? Let me think on that for 25 minutes or something. Let me just pick up every tall can in the fridge once, look it over, put it back down, and then eventually buy a 30 rack of Kokanee anyway. Am I right, fellow browsers? Also, the other thing that I want to say is I'm not anti-dispensary in the slightest. I've literally never stepped foot inside one. But now I'm peeping through the damn windows like the kids in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I guess my conspiracy theory, which is not a conspiracy theory in the slightest, is that I don't think the market can sustain this many dispensaries, man. There's like 4 a block in Vancouver. I just can't believe that, like, eventually that's going to hit some homeostatic equilibrium, right, at like 1 every 2 blocks. I mean, if they do have enough demand, then whatever, who cares? But also, have you ever noticed, I'm not sure if this is wistful and nostalgic or if this is just meant to be an observation. I'm not fully sure yet. You ever noticed how in the last 15 years, every town, and maybe this is good, every town went from having like a thriving downtown core with local businesses providing like a variety of goods to simply being like 12 different brew pubs and an arcade bar. So true. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm just saying. Yes, COVID happened. Why are people so rude? You'll wait all weekend for the stream to start. I'm 8 minutes late. They're like, this is ridiculous. I start the stream. They're like, oh, no vacation this week? And I start talking. It's like an hour and 38 minutes into the stream. I'm just saying sentences. People are like hitting me with Daria sarcasm. Go talk to a trusted friend. And if they don't want to talk to you, maybe you should try being nicer. Daria's based? Yeah, but not when she's talking to you. When you're watching her talk to somebody else, you're like, get their ass. If she was talking to you, you'd be like, this bitch is rude. She is not invited to the barbecue. Hey, Daria, you want to come to my barbecue? Yeah, I'd love to come to your barbecue. Okay, then fucking shut up, lady. See you never. Romney loved hot dogs. He probably still does, man. If you love him at 58, I don't think that's changing. He did say my favorite meat is hot dog. That is a much more memeable quote than I've got binders full of women.
And all the applicants seem to be men. And I went to my staff and I said, how come all the people for these jobs are all men? They said, well, these are the people that have the qualifications. And I said, well, gosh, can't we find some women that are also qualified? And so we took a concerted effort to go out and find women who had backgrounds that could be qualified to become members of our cabinet. I went to a number of women's groups and said, can you help us find folks? And they brought us whole binders full of women.
I mean, as someone who talks nonstop for a few hours a day, a gaffe like that is meaningless. Like the dude who's, people were like, I'm not saying you gotta hand it to Mitt Romney, but people were like, get his ass. Like, oh really? You think that women are trading cards that you could put in a laminate sheet and then buckle into a 3-ring binder? No, obviously he doesn't think that. He was just talking, man. Probably got his words confused. He got a little bit nervous. My favorite meat is hot dog. That's a deliberate statement. That shit is crazy. Yeah, Mitt Romney, you would have loved Glizzy Overdrive. So true. I live, bitch. Not enough ampules these days. Very true. Oh, whoa, I was just going to point to my shelf and say I'm working on it. It's so sad. All right. I got some ampules over here. My whole soccer team and my coach make fun of me. I'm dead. He got me with the damn toilet brush, man. Makes fun of me because I dab the tip of my penis with toilet paper after I finish peeing. Is this something mockable? Now, well, first off, I have a question for you. How old are you? Like, are you in high school? Are you in college? How do you have a soccer coach as an adult? Are you Lionel Messi? Why do they know? People talk. No, they don't. Like, you don't. People outside of the house do. Is it mockable? Yes, it's mockable. But not because it's a stupid idea, just because it's not the norm. But honestly, the dab tech might be good tech for avoiding the couple of dribbles on your pants. You could do a gooch press as well. I mean, I've been a noted gooch presser, of course, but I don't think it's anything to be... I think they're making fun of you because they're scared that they're embarrassed that they didn't think of it first. But if you have no TP, well then I imagine if he has no TP, his ass probably is not dabbing. How does one dab at the urinal? Society is like so fucked. We should be praising this person for coming up with a solution that works some of the time. But instead, we're like, oh, a better solution? Yeah, but it doesn't work in literally 100% of cases, so I don't know. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. He doesn't care. The dude who won the Nobel Prize for inventing penicillin is mad that someone's not gonna take penicillin. No, she's dying because she got exposed to so much radiation during the invention of penicillin that she'll never be the same. Wrong person? I would say it is the right person that invented penicillin. Maybe that's just me being biased because antibiotics saved my life last year. I support women. Who is this guy? Dan, what are you trying to say? Why are you so surprised, Daniel? I'm positively, I'm shocked by your statement. Name one. Dua Lipa. Great choice. Amazing. Amazing. I see that we still have not yet figured out how to make a plunging attack work in a Souls type game. At this point, it's a feature, not a bug. Is it a faux pas to watch anime on your flight to Japan? No, I'm sure they see it all the time. It's not a faux pas. Why would it be a faux pas? You guys are so weird. I specifically avoided watching anime on my flight to Japan. Why? You know that's like where they make it, right? They know, brother. There's only like 5 reasons that people from America are like going to Japan. They probably had they clocked your reason like immediately, as soon as you got on the airplane. They were talking in the galley. They were like, look at that dude at the back wearing the Full Metal Alchemist hoodie. Bro's literally watching Rashomon right now, pretending he's coming here for the cinema. I know, as soon as you land, you're gonna be saying, Watashi no, how do I get to Akihabara? Just to your own self be true, man. Me watching Austin Powers on my flight to London, just so that the flight attendants on British Airways know I respect English culture. You might not, I mean, I don't know why people assume that I'm like badly behaved in public, but I'm genuinely not. I've flown, I don't know, 100 times, 150 times. There's one time, I think, in my entire life, I've ever pushed, bing, the button to summon a flight attendant. It was literally on the last flight I took. And I'm not trying to absolve myself. My wife, who was sitting a row behind me, because we had our nieces with us, tapped me on the shoulder and said, can you ask a flight attendant for a blanket? So I know I joke about the fact that I'm Tobey Maguire in the Kirsten Dunst Tobey Maguire meme, where, you know, Kirsten Dunst goes, he said no pickles, but I'm the Kirsten Dunst in a lot of situations at least. Anyway, I went bing bong, I pressed the button, I said, can my wife get a blanket? And they said, on this flight we don't have blankets. Big ups, WestJet. I mean, why would you pack blankets on an overnight flight, right? In the airplane. Regardless. Fucking WestJet, no screens in the seat back headrest, ass-having airline. First time I flew WestJet, they had a damn swipe credit card reader in the seat in case you wanted to pay $5 pay-per-view to watch Colin Farrell's Total Recall remake, 2014 ass, no complimentary anything, Calgary-based. Listen to me, okay? Regardless, apart from that, I swear to you, I am a friend of the flight attendants. I have never summoned a flight attendant for anything. There's a couple reasons for that. In a way, I know it's their job. I find it very audacious when people summon a flight attendant and they're like, can I have another drink? They're like, I get that for you having another drink is important because you're on the plane right now and you're bored. And that's fine. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. But at the same time, like, there's 200 passengers on the flight and you're really like, that's how bad I need my drinky right now. Secondly, flight attendants deserve our respect because they have an order of magnitude more risk of dying in a plane explosion than us. So I try to let them simmer at the back and decompress as much as possible because you never know when it might be your last. Okay, you got me, kid. What if I'm having a real cromulent fuck crusticle of a day. If you're Tommy and your tenants have been driving you crazy, then sure. Yeah, I 100% agree. Flight attendants have, well, I don't know. I don't want to insult the servers, okay? They both have a harder job than me. But flight attendants have a much harder job, in my opinion, than the average server. Because they have to serve, and they have a very limited amount of space. They got all their shit in like one little cart. They're trying, sir, do you want anything? And then the person's got to like pull their headphones out and stuff like that. They got to do this safety presentation. And like, I don't know if you've ever been on an airplane. Based on the response from chat, I'm going to say about 80% of you haven't. But like 1 in 8 passengers thinks that they have a special request. You'll always be like, oh, can I have a truly vodka soda? And they're like, sure. And they'll hand them like a strawberry one. And they're like, oh, do you have pomegranate? You're like, fucking, it's an airplane, dummy. There's nothing. You're lucky we got 4 Trulies on the whole airplane. Your ass is like, do you have a different flavor? Sure, we gotta land. I work with private jet flight attendants. They're always burned out. See, that, I guess what I want is like an A/B test. Are they more burned out than a like commercial flight attendant? Because I would assume that it's easier to be a private jet attendant just because I bet they treat you worse on a passenger by passenger basis because they feel like they're big shots. But at least there's only going to be like under 20 passengers, right? Would you tip the flight attendant manning the drink cart? Goodbye. Never mind. Hello. Maybe we should these days. Maybe we should. Can I also say I had another tweet brewing. It's something like this. Now, this is not based on reality, okay? But you could see how it would be funny were it real. Went to the Korean barbecue place, tipped the guy who cooked my food $20 at the end of the night. And then I got to figure out how to land the plane. Because you're the guy who cooks your fucking food, you know? Let me think about this. There's got to be a way to make it work. What? When you go to a Korean barbecue restaurant, you got me, kid. When you go to a Korean barbecue restaurant, usually you're the one who cooks your own food. Yeah, but they prep it and bring it to you? It's literally a joke. When the joke fails, it's only a joke. When the joke succeeds, people really be in my chat talking to me about humor as if their favorite joke for the last 10 years isn't like Donald Trump's hair looks funny. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm kind of over it at this point. You don't pay Korean barbecue prices for the quality of food you're getting. You pay it for the... What are you... I was literally... Dude, streamer comes after the entire Korean barbecue industry. What are you... I just made a joke, man! You guys got to start spending your weekends laughing. I think too many people are spending their weekends angry these days. Every comment is an invitation for argument with somebody who graduated from high school, you know, post 2018. That's crazy. I'm not, you can do that. You guys can start an argument in the chat. That doesn't bother me. But when you throw like a highlighted at northernlion in there and you're like, usually at Korean barbecue, you get side dishes with you. I'm like, yeah, fucking no, bro. Daegu, class of 2011, motherfucker. Shilahamnida, samdak sobang soju Bali Bali, I'm trying to get to the Hof before it closes. Do not cite the old words to me, which I was there when they were written. Guy on the Korean air flight who doesn't order bibimbap because all the white people on the flight order the bibimbap, so he gets the hamburger instead. So true. Ever try Beondegi? Yes, I think it's very bad. My friends and I in Korea used to get shithouse drunk on makgeolli and then just be like, we hate Beondegi, and then for absolutely no reason, I don't know, eat as much of it as we possibly could. Wife isn't gonna like this take? She will, because she also does not like Beondegi. It might surprise you to find out I know my wife better than you do. Do you like Bodega? Oh, you mean Bodega on Main? Bodega's pretty good. It's like it's tapas, right? I went there once or twice. Bodegas have everything. I'm talking about a Vancouver restaurant, okay? I'm not talking about stores that only exist in New York City. There's no stores in the rest of the world where you can get a sandwich and a bag of chips. And Philly? No, sorry. Simply New York City. It's the only place that's... I'm not putting anybody on blast, but I was laughing. Somebody posted a picture of a deli and said the European mind can't possibly fathom this. And it was like a deli counter with like lots of meats and, you know, marinated olives and like salads and stuff in it. And I was like, I live in like the most non-deli part of the world possibly, and we still have those. Listen, if you're gonna make a tweet like that, you gotta make it like me, where I said the European mind can't possibly fathom the serenity of eating lunch in the driver's seat of your car. Which some people took as so true, it's so sad that Americans have no place to eat but in their car, but was really meant as like, I love eating lunch by myself in the driver's seat of my car. No irony intended. I mean, you can't eat like, you know, there's a very limited number of foods you can eat in your driver's seat without making like a huge mess, but I love it, man. Car eating kind of goated. Listen to whatever you want on the radio. Nobody's talking to you to ask if the food is good. You're sitting in your car eating like a, you know, like a chicken shawarma or something like that. Eating as fast as possible without any care for decorum because you're by yourself. Makes the car smell good for days. Exactly. Also, every time I'm eating in my car, and then like I see people walking by and I make eye contact with them, I feel like they're always like, oh, that's so sad, that dude's eating alone in his car. And I'm like, that's so sad, they're outside. And meanwhile, I'm in my car eating delicious food and singing along, pig! I saw your pin shot, I'll keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue, it sure looks good on you. They're outside. Hey, do you want to get a coffee? No, I'm not really interested in that. And when you smile for the camera, I know they're gonna love you. Why not just eat it in the restaurant? Because in the restaurant, I'm surrounded by other people. In my car, I'm surrounded by my favorite person. As Tom Waits said, as long as I can be with me, we get along so well I can't even believe it. Love to chew the fat with folks, I'll be listening to all your dirty jokes. I'm so thankful for these friends I do receive. You know what I'm saying?
Who is it? Is that you, Murphy?
Yep, it's me, Murphy.
Oh, I guess not. Sorry, I thought you were my friend, Murphy. Murphy is a super cool police officer. As a puppet, even the petrification disease can't get him. I wish I was like him.
You know that motherfucker's in the group chat like, yeah, I'll be at brunch, don't worry, it's just allergies. Showing up with fucking crusty ass eyes. Hey! I couldn't miss bottomless mimosas. So true. We haven't seen each other in so fucking long. How the fuck have you been, bitch? It's Steve-O again? It's got a little Steve-O in it, I suppose. His brunch fucking kills, bro. These fucking heirloom tomatoes fucking rip, bro. It fucking kills. $38 for fucking eggs Benedict, Johnny? Knoxville is fucking kills. The bill's fucking huge. I can't fucking take it. Vancouver chatters go to Science World. There's a new exhibit about game development open today. Hey, thank you for reminding me, Malik. That's what I did on Saturday. We took our daughter to Science World. And because we're Science World members, we got a little ticket to go to that game development exhibit. That was pretty cool. I'm not saying it was cool when I saw it, and now that it's open to the public, it's probably like not that cool. It's probably washed. I worked on it. Yo, that was sick. The first room where it's like a Vancouver bedroom and then it constantly like either floods or it turns into like outer space. And then the second room where you could design your own creature. My kid was pogging up like crazy. And then the third room where you're jumping on all the stones and then you can make the little dirigible go by. She had a great time. So did we. I forgot we went to Science World on Saturday. That's what we did on Saturday. I told you I was doing something. Spoilers? Little bro thinks the museum can be spoiled. I will say, so much of the exhibit was about Dauntless. And I was like, I honestly, I don't mean this with any hate. I kind of thought Dauntless was washed. I thought it came out and like maybe did okay for a while and then was left in like 2018 or something. But apparently Dauntless is still pogging. I had no idea. Like the whole thing, you can design your own Dauntless monster. You can design your own Dauntless environment. You can design your own Dauntless foliage. I mean, there's some Vancouver local game devs for sure. So there's a big social mobile scene. Dauntless, which is Phoenix Labs, EA, some parts of EA at least. I'm trying to think of what else is made out here. Broken mobile scene. So true. Hang on. My friend, when he's been watching podcasts, before we do anything, I need to grind. I just saw that 1975 TikTok. How did you quote it bar for bar? Because I watched it 50 times last night. Because it changed my life. It introduced me to my new favorite band whose songs I've still never heard. He's back on TikTok? No, it got served to me by the X algorithm. I'm still morally superior. I'm not on TikTok. I love the content, though. I'm glad people keep putting it on X, a much more defensible platform. I'm sorry to bring up, it's the daily, did you see what Elon Musk did comment? But I did see that he met the president of Turkey. The president of Turkey said, "Where's your wife?" And he said, "She lives in San Francisco. We're separated, so now I look after my son."
Where is your wife?
She's in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
But we're separated. I take care of him mostly.
What about your other 11 kids? No disrespect. But then I was laughing because there's I think that it's still possible to be like 43 and work in finance and be like, Elon's a little crazy, but he's a great businessman. I'm not saying this is my opinion, okay? I think that's possible. But if you ever look at the mentions of anything related to Elon Musk on X, it's insanity. One dude said, and of course he was blue checked, he said Elon should have corrected him and said, "Oh, my wives, they're back home in my harem." Bro, what the hell are you? You're doing like a shower thought what I should have said in the argument for a dude who has no idea that you exist right now. And you're like, he's going to try to have a dick measuring contest with a world leader because he got offended that his wife divorced him. Like, what are you talking about, man? You got to have a moment of self-reflection. Is this really how you saw it going down for yourself? I got to log on to Twitter and be like, Elon fucks more people than you do, just so you know. So, like, I would be careful who you're insulting by asking a question. It's crazy, man. Finance guys, the most overrated guys of all time. Maybe. No offense to the finance guys in chat. I love your podcasts, genuinely. I did see that there was like 6 years ago, there was a study that said something like 30% of all Journal of Finance results are completely made up, which is very funny. That being said, I did see a tweet that was like, new study just got published in one of these journals of finance. And I'm just paraphrasing. Conventionally attractive fund managers underperform ugly fund managers by, on average, 2.5% per annum. And you can tell it's real because they said per annum instead of annually. And what's the most hilarious of all is that they all get outperformed by the S&P 500. So whoever runs that one must be ugly as fuck, bro. So true, so true. Owned. The National, better or worse than the 1975? Better. They're my favorite band. Much better, substantially better. Oh, fuck. Are they, is the 1975 that bad? Because the TikTok is fire, bro. The TikTok goes insane. They're horrible. They suck ass. They're just fine. That's almost like worse. That's like the most fucked up thing that anybody's ever said. They're going to be in Vancouver at the end of November. You should go. Maybe I'll go see, sight unseen, I'll go see the 1975 for my birthday. And get beaten to death with hammers by whoever their demographic is. I have no idea, honestly. If you play anything other than the Dropkick Murphys in a bar in Boston, they will take away your business license. Listen, I respect some curt service. In Vancouver, like, all the servers are very disinterested, and when they pretend to be interested, usually when they hand you the card machine at the end of the dinner, and then they're like, hey, so did you do anything fun today? I'm like, I don't know you, and it feels weird and fake. But like in Boston, it's crazy. They'll just like walk over to your table with like the serving tray and like look at you, and then you're like, hey, can we get a picture of Sam Adams? And then they're like roll their eyes, turn around, and walk away. I gotta, if I ever go back to Boston, it has to be with a local, man. I gotta figure out like the demeanor to actually get like some rapport with other Bostonians. I'll probably never have any friends from Boston because I just talk shit about the city anytime it gets mentioned. I was out of Boston for 10 years. It was so refreshing to come back to the curt rudeness. I can understand that. I mean, you get used to what you start to like what you get used to, right? But when you sorry, why are so many people typing in a Boston accent? I just saw someone say omelet core. It's so oh man. Armored Core 6 fires of Rubicon. Okay, great start. Can't come over. Can't see the Bruins game tonight. Playing fucking Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. I don't know. It's just the idea of anytime I picture someone from Boston, I picture Ben Affleck. I know you picture Germa, which is fine. I did see happy 50th birthday to James Marsden, sorry, who I never realized until last week looks exactly like Germa in every single picture he's ever been in his entire life. But I always picture Ben Affleck, and just Ben Affleck like sitting on his couch playing like, I can't come out tonight, Matt Damon. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 33rd and a 33 to third fucking dream drop distance. Yeah, it just fucking came out in the fucking Steelbook Deluxe Edition. Yeah, sorry, I can't come to the work today. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. No, I'll be in tomorrow. That's the name of the game. There's no food from Canada under $8.99. Well, did you see that Subway is going to start selling $3, or not $3, but 3-inch sandwiches? I'm sure that'll be like $7.99. It's like, it's actually that classic joke. Wow, the food at this restaurant is terrible. Yeah, and such small portion sizes. We get it. 3 inches is big, actually. Penis joke. I understand. I've made jokes about dicks myself, so I'm not going to say I'm above it. But we're talking about something pretty serious here. We're talking about sandwiches, and I don't take that lightly. So people are saying 3 inches is enough? I get it. Trust me, I understand the joke. I'm simply saying 3 inches is not enough. For a dick, I can't say. It's not really my domain. It's not enough for a Subway sandwich, which is not good to begin with. But still, a 6-inch sandwich is not enough for a grown adult man, in my personal opinion. A 3-inch sandwich is not even worth going to the store. Like, it's at that point, I think I would just be teasing my stomach. My stomach would be like, oh, yum, 2 bites of a Subway sandwich. It should probably be like, oh, yuck, brace for impact. There's another 9 inches coming. And I'd be like, no, brother, that's it. But it'd be like, oh, that already secreted all this hydrochloric acid. I'd be like, put it back, brother. Put it back in the vat. I don't know what you do with that shit. Who do you think is the bad guy in Meet the Parents? I'm 12 years old. I'm on film Twitter. Every movie has to have a good guy and a bad guy. Ben Stiller's wife? I don't think she doesn't really do anything villainous in the movie. I would know because I saw it on Friday. Owen Wilson? Owen Wilson's not a bad guy. At least in the first movie. In the first movie, it's not his fault he's successful. I know I said this we're going to get a Meet the Parents compilation at this point. I said this last time I watched the movie like a year ago. I love when Ben Stiller meets the in-laws and his hair's a little messed up and the lady goes, looks like somebody got a visit from the hair fairy, and then it brings like the whole house down. Everyone's laughing their asses off.
Hello.
Oh, look, somebody had a little visit from the hair fairy.
Nice do.
And then like a minute later, Ben Stiller's like, oh, I'll be right down. I just got to go pay a visit to the shower fairy. And then everybody just looks at him like, and he just has to walk away. It's so, I'm getting hit with a lot of I can'ts, but it's a comedy classic. Oh, man.
Really, you know what? In that case, I better get upstairs and pay a little visit to the shower fairy.
That's the entire movie's humor? I know, it's great. Meet the Parents is good, man. Thank you for saying that it's a popcorn classic. A lot of people are afraid to give Meet the Parents the respect it deserves. Is it better than Meet the Fockers? Yeah, by like, literally like triple. Meet the Fockers is horrible. What about Meet the Spartans? It's also really bad. It's way more than triple. You're right, it's probably like 10x, to be honest with you. How about Meet the Millers? Librarians, stick to the VTubers, okay? It's called We're the Millers. I don't want you to embarrass yourself in case it comes up in polite conversation, okay? Good movie, though. I mean, here's the thing. Here's my take. Robert De Niro is the bad guy at the start of the movie, okay? There's some complex themes involved in this one. There was no reason for him to presuppose that Greg Fokker was a bad person. It's simply his suspicious nature that led to that. However, as the movie goes on, Ben Stiller takes some actions that you can only describe as something a bad person would do. He loses the cat and then gets a similar looking cat from the pound, from the animal shelter, and paints a stripe on it in order to make it seem like it's jinxie. That's just messed up. That being said, I also understand that he felt like his hand was forced. However, at the same time, I don't feel like it's really right that Jack put Greg Fokker through a polygraph test on like the second day that he met him. That's a little messed up. Oh, is this Meet the Fockers? No. You guys, honestly, you need to watch the movies again. You got it all confused. It's like you're saying like The Hangover and The Hangover 2 are the same movie. Meet the Fockers, they meet the Fockers. And the joke is that, you know, like, her parents are ex-CIA, insanely paranoid people, but Greg's parents are like super laissez-faire, like hippie liberal types, okay? Now, the second movie coincidentally fucking blows, just for the record. Miyazaki's Elevator. But the first movie is sick. How is the first movie good? I know this is shocking for like a lot of people, but I can't explain to you why it's good. You actually have to watch it for yourself and laugh at the jokes. I would love to say it's good because it's made by good people who have never done anything wrong. I don't know how true that is. Fun doesn't equal good. I agree to disagree with you on that one, Oppenheimer. Cringe equals good? You guys have a serious problem. How much time do you spend on Letterboxd versus how much time do you spend watching movies? You shouldn't take it as an insult unless you feel insulted to be answering the question. Who's the bad guy in Meet the Fockers? Thanos? Any other questions? Okay, I gotta see that. Did you... This is like actually punching down. I apologize. But did you see the picture of the breakfast that Ice Spice cooked? And it was literally just scrambled eggs with tomatoes and spinach. And then someone replied and said, "My stomach after I eat that." And it was like someone exploding into fine dust. And then there was a quote tweet that said, "It's literally eggs and vegetables. What can you guys actually eat?" And someone sincerely replied, "The oil in the dish and also the roughage in the spinach would wreak havoc on my digestive system." There may actually be a medical condition involved there, so I apologize. But, like, what do you eat if 2 spinach leaves is enough to wreak havoc on your system? Like, is there... I guess everybody's got different digestive foibles, don't get me wrong. Perhaps it's naive of me to suggest that 2 spinach leaves seems like a pretty digestible thing. Didn't you almost die from an eggshell? No need to get nasty. I still ate it though. Also almost died from chicken. No, it's the same story. This is not... That's not 2 different stories. And my hunch is that it was neither of those. I'm pretty sure it was ground pork. Not cat shit. Nah, I think it was probably ground pork. It just had the feel of a Campylobacter that came from ground pork. Why'd you bring up the Ice Spice thing? I'm losing my mind. Just be careful who you bring it up to, okay? This is a safe place, but if you bring that shit up on Twitter, you'll get canceled because, like, didn't you know some people can't eat spinach? Jeff Dunham's new puppet character. Jason the Gamer. He says, "Silence, I own you." That's a good joke. I'm going to take it from you and turn it into a Dennis Miller joke so it gets -2'd and then you can use it for yourself and farm some +2s. I don't want to go off on a rant here, but does anybody else think that Jeff Dunham's comedy specials are just skibbity toilet for boomers? Wow, that's a lot of +2s. Looks like it's my joke now. Denis Leary joke. Looks like it's my joke now. Denis Leary be like, yoink. So true. Denis Leary be like, give me a break. Denis Leary be like, this woman was walking in front of me the other day. I don't know where you're gonna go. Get out of my way! I do also have to say, I said this, I should have brought this up earlier when I was slandering Ludwig. Someone in my Discord, people love to pile on to stuff when they have limited information online. Did Ludwig besmirch the true spirit of the challenge which I provided to him? Yes. I understand, you know, in the interest of time and planning and stuff like that, things fall apart. Then someone said, yeah, plus he never sent NL the Crocs when NL beat him in Bros versus Bros. That's true, but that's not Ludwig's fault. The dude messaged me and said, send me your address so I can send you those Crocs. And I said, I don't send anybody my address for a pair of shoes. No, it's not gonna happen. Just have him send them to the P.O. box? Brother, I don't want another man's pair of shoes. I don't even want most ladies' pairs of shoes. Some ladies, yeah, maybe. But most ladies, no. And definitely no dudes. Oh, he's got a grapple. I think I died. Didn't you used to do fan mail? Yeah, that was under duress. That was not me at all. My ass out there in front of the vlog camera looking like a damn clown, opening like my 19th Ki-Adi-Mundi figurine. This shit's going straight into the garbage can.
Apparently you keep bringing this up, so enjoy. From Amir Rahmani.
What is it that you kept bringing up?
Is this Ki-Adi-Mundi?
Oh my... Dude, it's Ki-Adi-Mundi, Ryan.
This is
The saga of Ki-Adi-Mundi.
This is a holographic Ki-Adi-Mundi. This is a Star Wars Episode 1 Ki-Adi-Mundi. It's a new Ki-Adi-Mundi. Well, as new as they get. Something fell out of its bag, and it's a Ki-Adi-Mundi. It's just a different Ki-Adi-Mundi. This one's from Attack of the Clones. It's a holographic Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Please stop sending us Ki-Adi-Mundi
Don't send us
figures.
any more Ki-Adi-Mundi paraphernalia. It's a Ki-Adi-Mundi.
One final obligatory farewell gift.
Okay, these are Ki-Adi-Mundis.
We don't know.
Come on.
It could
They're
be
Ki-Adi-Mundis.
Jedi, different Jedi.
Just once.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
It is Ki-Adi-Mundi.
And people are like, don't throw it in the garbage. You could donate it to like daycare. Yeah, like fucking 3-year-olds are gonna be like, oh, I want the Ki-Adi-Mundi. Look, it's a whole family of Ki-Adi-Mundis. You're the one who bought it. I'm the one getting shamed for like conspicuous consumption somehow. I was just on-air talent, man. I was involved in the production whatsoever. 3-year-olds will play with literally everything. No, they fucking won't. Unless, like, in 3 weeks, there's a serious shift in my daughter's disposition. They will play with some things, but it changes on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's like, she'll be like, hey, give me my cat. And then I give her like a stuffed animal cat. And she's like, no! Not that one. And I'm like, okay. And then I go give her like, instead of the cat that's black with white stripes, I give her one that's white with black stripes. And she's like, thank you, Daddy. Meow. Meow. I don't know, maybe the Ki-Adi-Mundis would go over. But I'm pretty sure if I gave my kid 19 Ki-Adi-Mundis, she would just be like, looks like Daddy. I already get enough of Daddy in my life. From my wife, anytime there's a weird looking dude on TV or the street, or like an animal in a book or something like that, or a cloud, anything that's bald, so true. The bowling ball, yeah, anything vaguely circular. Whenever NL talks about childcare, he does ooze only child energy. Can you explain what this means without using a pejorative? Like, how do older siblings deal with childcare? I thought if you're like an older sibling, then whenever your parents are like, "Hey, can you take care of your little sister?" They go like, "Oh, can't you just put it in the garbage can already?" Whereas, I guess I do things a little differently. I treat my child with love and respect. This looks a little bit like Dark Souls. Well, I'm glad somebody decided to make a Dark Souls this year, because From Software decided to take a year off, spend a year in Neon Genesis Evangelion to find themselves. Our ass needs help at the store. How are we supposed to keep output up at the Pog factory? Your ass out there in Neon Genesis Evangelion gallivanting around. Sending me postcards from Machu Picchu and shit. My ass is keeping society running. They should have a 90-minute Fugazi ride. You know how people say, like, I want worse video games made by devs who are paid more money and the games are shorter, and no, I'm not joking? I understand the sentiment for that. I have become the exact opposite of that on the Peloton. I don't care how much money they make, whether they make $1 billion or, well, I hope they make enough to, like, you know, adequately compensate them for their time at least. That being said, I want more Peloton rides that are longer, made by instructors who make maybe the same amount of money that they're making right now. That's not really my business, but, and I'm not joking. I don't know if anybody else here is Peloton pilled, but they need to get one instructor. This is so rude, I'm so sorry. They need to get one instructor who is good at programming rides and also has good music taste, okay? Now there might be a couple. I'm not trying to throw anybody's, blow up anybody's spot, okay? Sam Yo, amazing at programming Peloton rides. Music taste, in my opinion, leaves something to be desired. Still going. Nobody here has ever used a Peloton. So false. I ride with the egg carton every day, bro. The egg carton leaves us behind. Some of you leave me behind. But, like, honestly, and I'm not putting anybody on blast here. I'll probably do it. I've learned how to race against the average egg carton member. Especially if I'm seeing them for the first time. Sometimes, well, almost every time, I look at their output, and they're like, during the warm-up, and their output is insane. It's like 280 watts in the warm-up. And I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna kick my ass. And I enjoy that because they're a fan of mine. Then you see that number start to come down. You see it go down to 250. Then you see it go down to 210, then you see it go down to like 160, then you see it, you're like, is the number even moving anymore? And you realize that they burn themselves out in the warm-up, and now they're just trying to make sure that they can make it to the end of the workout to reciprocate a high five. That's me, but during intercourse, you know. It's a metaphor that makes sense for sure. It is. It's like the Michael Scott 5K, exactly. I gotta be honest though, racing, like every race I'm racing, or every ride I'm racing for my life now. Because there's always, like, I get 10 minutes in and then somebody I've never seen before whose top tag is the egg carton comes in. And I could tell just from the output. I'm like, they're bike maxing right now. And I'm like, well, I'm not going out like that. If you beat me, you beat me. And I put respect on your name to the Kip Caspers and the Cosmo Kramers and the D. Kelly 1385s. But you gotta beat me. You gotta earn it. Except, I did have a cool down ride where I basically just gave up because I was like, my legs are fucked. Hang on. You competing in cool down rides? Absolutely, brother. It's every day, bro. Also, during my low impact rides, I always look at the leaderboard and I'm like, look at this idiot. This idiot is like biking as hard as he can in the low impact ride just to flex on people. And then immediately I'm like, well, I'm not letting him beat me. You think you really want to race in the low impact ride? Then let's race. And then I beat you by 20 output, and then I realized that for the next person, I'm the dude who is like at the top of the leaderboard that everybody's like, look at this asshole, joined like the 30-minute prenatal the 1975 ride and was just stunting on all the moms in the third trimester. But I'm like, I'm not going out like that. If people would stop racing me on all of my rides, I would slow down. But it is like American Gladiators. Everybody wants to take a shot at Laser. Well, all right. How do we signal it's not race day? Stay behind me. If you, well, it depends on your output. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no getting around it. If your output is typically lower than mine and you don't want to race, keep it lower. If your output is typically higher than mine and you don't care about racing, just stay higher than me. Where I start the race is when someone's output is typically lower. Oh, that was a horrible window for me to take there. When their output is typically lower than mine, and then they start coming up to me. I'm like, well, I guess we're racing today. The worst is seeing you competitive Peloton types out when I'm actually just commuting on my bicycle. But you realize that the Peloton is a stationary bike inside, right? We don't work in the same office, bro, so I don't think you see me here. That's not Peloton types. I promise you, those guys are Swifties. I love talking about bikes on Twitch as a one-way ticket to the worst takes you've ever heard. It's true. Except by worst takes, you just mean people who don't agree with you specifically, which is, I guess, what we all mean when we say bad take. But boomers don't say bad take. They say, I disagree. And we hate them for it for some reason. Regardless, I will say I saw a situation, this is like 3 weeks ago, but I don't think I talked about it. I was driving down Main Street in Vancouver. A dude was just biking alongside a car. The car lane changed because it was trying to park at like a grocery store and very nearly knocked the dude off his bike, to which the cyclist pulled over to the side and was like, you could tell this was about to be a conversation. But the old guy that was driving the car just went, sorry, sorry, like I could see him hold up his hand. And then the cyclist said, don't worry about it. Like he got over it, which I thought was big of him. But then the old guy gestured to the spot, and I could hear him talking, and he said, I need to park there. And I was like, man, the audacity of like this dude almost killed you in his car when you had the right of way. He just wasn't paying attention. And then afterwards was like, sorry, I almost killed you, but can you move? That's the spot I want to park. It was so funny. My ass would not have parked there. No, I would have been like, sorry, sorry, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I would have like, even if that's where I had to go, I would have like driven to a different grocery store. I would have been like, I'm not staying around the scene of the crime. What if this guy decides to press charges later? I'm getting the fuck out of here. No! Anyway, it was like 98% the car's fault. Bike sales don't want to hear this one. There is something that the cyclist could have done to prevent it. He could have sold his bike and bought a GMC Yukon and driven that to the grocery store instead of taking that little piddly-ass two-wheeled Schwinn, okay? I'm sorry, people don't like to hear that they have some responsibility for things, but it's true. He should have gotten a Peloton, so true. It's called Instacart and a Peloton, dummy. You know who I got a problem with these days? Overconfident servers. They come to your table without any iPad, without any notepad or anything like that. And then they'll say, like, can I get you guys started with a couple of drinks? And then I say, actually, we're ready to order everything because it's been 11 minutes since the last time you came to our table. And then they say, okay, why don't you just tell me what you want? And then, okay, I'm just trying to explain. I'm like, well, okay, my wife will have the lamb shank. My daughter will have, like, the kid-size pepperoni pizza. And I'll have the half chicken, but can I replace the potatoes and rice pilaf with extra Greek salad? I'm like, don't you want to write that? In my head, I'm like, don't you want to write that down? I know what you're going to say, NL. I know, that's so annoying. And then they get your order wrong? No, the annoying part for me is that they've never made a mistake. But it still just feels like a bit like you're tempting God, right? Like, why not write it down? They're professionals? Yeah, I mean, so are airline pilots. They still do the pre-flight checklist from the book, you know? They're not out here just like, bro, I've flown planes. I've been flying planes every summer since I was 17. I don't need to do the checklist. Don't insult me. You think I don't know what a Boeing 777 feels like? Yeah, I forgot to put gas in the Boeing. Isn't this like the first boss? I'm loving the people who have been here for like 3.5 hours. They're still trying to desperately make the stream focus on Lies of P. We're talking about waiter etiquette. We're talking about everything but Pinocchio's souls. I left for 3 hours because I was bored. Why the hell did you come back? Like, it's the same shit. Let me guess, you got bored of the thing that you thought was more exciting than this. It's a great compliment. I appreciate that. Should waiters crouch or stand? Let's speak on that. They should stand. They definitely... This is an honest question from a place of goodwill and respect. Are you a child? Not because that's an opinion a child would have, but because I think the last time a waiter crouched to take my order was probably like 1999 or something like that. Also, can you not use the term waiter, okay? The profession is called serving. Did you see the rat that got dissolved in Pepsi? I didn't. Now, I don't think this is what you're talking about, but it always makes me laugh whenever I see someone that's like, check it out, this is what Coke does to a penny. If you put penny inside of a Coke, in one day, that shit becomes like completely polished. Like, brother, the insinuation is always like, it's not like, hey, here's a cool tip for how to polish your pennies. It's always like, you should never put this in your body. Wait until you see what your fucking stomach would do to a penny in 24 hours, brother, with extremely high strength hydrochloric acid. And that shit is literally like, I don't know, 18 inches away from like your eyeballs right now. Imagine what would happen if your eyeballs got put into your stomach. Holy cow, you'd be in a lot of trouble. But I'm a simple man. He hyper stunned me. That's fine. You know what I do? I simply don't eat pennies. Ergo, I don't have to worry about it. I think that's the one I saw. It was like, don't drink Coca-Cola. Look what it did to this liver. And they took like a dead liver, put it in a bowl, and then poured a can of Coke on it, and it like started to dissolve the liver. And you're like, oh no. Well, anyway, it's the same shit. Like, imagine if you took out your fucking eyeball and put it in a bowl and poured Coca-Cola on it. You would be like, don't. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna open my, abdomen up and pour Coke onto my liver. And if I did, I wouldn't let it simmer there for 24 hours. My liver doesn't process raw Coca-Cola, man. I hope. I don't really know what my liver does. So if you don't know what does something in your body, it's like a 99% chance that your liver does it. So filters your blood, fucking makes proteins that let your blood clot and stuff like that. It's definitely not one of those organs you could just be like, nobody's ever like, oh, I had some stomach pain, so they took my liver out. Turns out you don't need it. That's a pretty big one. In fact, I think it might be the biggest one. Organs tier list? I think it's close to the top. I'd probably put brain and heart above it, maybe lungs. But like, I guess they're all up there. You can't really live without any of them, right? Lungs, I guess you could put a little lower because you get 2. I'm sure not having both of them would be like pretty nasty. But you could make do, I guess, with medical help. Skin? I mean, it's hard to do a tier list because they're all either like A or F, right? Like, you have to come to some kind of delineation. Like, yeah, you can't live without your kidneys, but you could like live without one, at least for a bit. So people were like, how was skin not in the A tier? Well, it's fucking, if you ask me would I rather have no skin or would I rather have no heart, I'd fucking rather be dead than either of them probably. And I think that I would probably be dead in both circumstances, but I feel like if I lost like 10% of my skin, it would hurt like a motherfucker, but I would still be alive. If I lost 10% of my heart, I'd probably be toast. I'm not talking heart function. I'm talking about like, Al Pacino took his pound of flesh. Conversation is literally making my skin crawl. Let me guess. You thought Doja Cat's breakfast looked gross too. Get over it, man. We're all just piss factories. Piss and cum and shit and acid and fucking water. A couple microchips. 3 microchips for me personally. I don't know about you guys. Did you see Sips's carrot? Yes. I tried to come up with a joke to reply to Sips's carrot, but I was like, there's no joke needed. I mean, it just looks like a huge penis. Looks like a huge Willie? Willie Nelson? It did, someone already pointed this out in the comments. It did look like the carrot was on a hardwood floor. Like, it did not look like a cutting board. There were nails in it. And it was a little dirty. So I don't know what the carrot was doing down. Maybe it is, maybe that's how they make cutting boards in old Jersey. 8 minutes, get it together. Jordan Binnington voice before he gets blown out. Do I seem stressed? You guys don't understand, again. Fighting the boss is the reward. Beating the boss is the punishment. We waited forever for the game to come out. And by forever, I mean like a week since I knew it existed. As soon as we beat the boss, we're closer to beating the game. Which means in all likelihood, we got to go back to playing something worse. That's the thing, man. You think I'm happy when my Peloton ride is over? Absolutely not. I'm happiest when I realize I'm not going to die on the ride. Usually happens with about maybe like 11 minutes to go until the end. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of durability, please, higher. Thank you. Okay, now I'm ready. Don't get one-tapped. No, I was like, I just gotta get out of the shock range, and then I pop an SD, and then I kill you. So many heartbreaking losses. I'm not heartbroken. I'm having a great time. People will really get on me for crying during the emotional conclusion of Black Panther. Meanwhile, they're like bragging. They're like, I haven't cried since I was a little kid. And then when I lose a run against the third boss in Pinocchio Souls, they're like, no! No! No, no, no! Does he know he's using a bad weapon? No comment, Kate. No comment. Scrapped Watchmen is such a funny name. By the way, I saw someone say, I should say, they should have scrapped Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Are you crazy? That's one of Zack Snyder's 2 watchable films. Is it a little bit indulgent? I'll get out of there. Yes, get out of there. Sure. The other is 300. I mean, yes, I think the other one is 300, even though 300 is kind of bad. It succeeds by still being like, I don't know what word I would use for this. Is there a fancy art criticism word for being so true to its form? Like 300 is like, it knows what it wants to be. You know a movie that doesn't know what it wants to be? The Expendables. Hey, we got all these action stars from the 80s here. What are we going to do with them? We're going to put them in like the most boring action movie you could ever imagine. Nobody's going to use a rocket launcher to like surf into the enemy base or anything. They're just going to like blow things up. 300 at least is like, we're going to put these incredibly muscly dudes in a comic book. And they're going to do comic book shit. And I at least respect that, even though 300 is not, well, I didn't enjoy it much at 34 versus how I enjoyed it at 17. I liked Watchmen too, though. I not loved, but I liked it decently enough. Also, I don't know if we've come around to this take yet. It kind of blew my mind when I got home from Watchmen, and all anybody was talking about was the dick. I was like, I get it, he's naked. I mean, I get that he's on the screen and he's naked. But like, I don't know, get over it. It's just a dick. They could have chosen a smaller size. Would that have made you feel better? Always forget it. Kate, give me like 10 minutes. I got this guy. I was a kid when I saw it, so it was weird. This shit's rated R, motherfucker. Get it? You ever see the tweet that was like, it should be a crime for me to ever be forced to see a 14-year-old kid's opinion online? I know you're not 14 now, but I'm just saying, like, some people were kids when they saw the movie. Okay, the MPAA tried to stop that shit. And your parents said, whatever, we need to have date night. That ain't Billy Crudup's fault. I'm not saying it's too much for kids. You got the discourse all backwards, Kevin Spacey. It's the kids saying they couldn't focus on the movie because there was Billy Crudup's big blue dick. I'm not saying you gotta hand it to the MPAA. It was a CGI dick. You know what the downside is of knowing everything? Nobody thinks anymore. Now that we know so much, I feel like the analysis part of our brain has gotten deprecated. Just replaced with like an endless series of facts from Wikipedia or the Red Scare podcast. Oh! One more. I got one more in me. Wasn't the entire guy CGI? No. It was the real Dr. Manhattan. He came down from the moon. And they filmed it. He thought it was a documentary the whole time. It was like a Borat type thing. I don't listen to Red Scare. I'm just familiar with it because there's infighting in the Dirtbag Left now, and somehow, probably because I follow Justin, that shit is in my feed now. Did you know that one of the ladies from the Red Scare went home in 2018 from the Tip Top Bar in Brooklyn with Michael Tracy, and all the other members of the Dirtbag Left were laughing at them? I literally have no idea what fucking any of this shit is. It was crazy to find out the Red Scare podcast was funded by Peter Thiel. Red Scare podcast? Peter Thiel? Lynda.com? What are you talking about? Your eyes dart open. Basilius, arise. The Turks are at the gates. You grab your scimitar. The Roman Empire may fall one day, but it will not be today. Questions flit from your mind as if in a dream upon waking. Was it okay for Jonah Hill to set ridiculous boundaries for his surfer girlfriend to not post a picture of herself in a swimsuit when she was posting? Brother, there's marauders here. We gotta get serious. It's so doable. It's still so doable. Back it up. Hey, fuck you. Not to lightning. It's how it had to be. You knew it had to go down like this. Yes! It counts! It counts! I knew it. Is it possible Miyazaki didn't even make the best Souls game this year? Ooh, people don't want to hear it. People don't want to talk about it, but the ladies are talking. Take me back to Hotel Krat. No, don't take me back to Hotel Krat because they're going to talk to me. And I got to go. All right, I'm going to send you to my wife's stream. Enjoy yourself. I will be back tomorrow. See you then. Later.
But after getting my eyes microbladed, I think I'm more envious of Ryan, for sure. I wish I could have his eyebrows. Because he didn't have to go through all that, I wouldn't call it surgery, but procedure. But Ryan had to give up his hair for it. I sometimes think, I don't know if people are baldist, but I do wonder if Ryan was not bald and had hair, would he have more viewers? Would he have more, like, followers? I'm only asking this question because I saw, like, oh, hey, this person reached 10-year anniversary with Twitch. And then, like, list of names of streamers who has been streaming on Twitch for 10 years or so. And they're all huge. And it makes sense because if they're not huge, they would have not done it for 10 years. So it's like, okay, it makes sense. So they, you know, like they basically are the survivor, and because they're the survivor, they're the biggest. I get it. But they are like Ryan, but with hair. So I was wondering if Ryan had hair, would he be that too? Oh my god! Ryan said, I'm gonna need a wig after that I have a T-Rex bite on my head. It was a T-Rex! It was what was it? It starts with A. It's similar to T-Rex but smaller. Allosaurus! Yeah, it was Allosaurus, so please get that corrected. I did not tell them! I didn't have any plan to tell them. But now I have to tell them the story before you tell them the story, because then they're gonna be like, what the hell? How did you get bit by Allosaurus? I think that was extinct a long time ago. Okay, so here's the story, okay? So we went to Science World, and there is what you call it? There's like a dinosaur area, and then you can move the jaw of the Allosaurus's skull. So if you like turn it to the left, the mouth, like the jaw opens up, and then if you turn it to the right, the jaw closes. So I thought it would be really funny to scare Luna. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at daddy, he's getting eaten by Allosaurus. So I opened it wide, and then I was like, Ryan, put your head through the Allosaurus. And then I was closing it. I was like, oh no, daddy's getting eaten by Allosaurus. Uh-oh. And I was closing the jaw, and I was I mean, this thing is like, it's a little shabby, right? This thing's been around for 20 years. It cannot crack a human skull, right? So I thought I was gonna scare Ryan by closing the mouth as close as possible to see how much he will trust me. And then, as I was closing the mouth and going, oh, daddy's gonna get eaten, and he freaked out. He freaked out. I thought he was just pretending when he was freaking out. I thought he was just freaking out as like a pretend, like, I'm gonna get eaten, like pretending. I thought he was pretending. But then he actually freaked out. But instead of pulling his head out of the Allosaurus, he bumped his head. He bumped his head on top of the jaw and the bottom of the jaw like a cartoon. He could have just like, and then he could just pull his head out. But then he went, and then he like, doing, like, so basically, he gave himself a tooth mark by smashing his head into the Allosaurus's teeth. Cause it was close, but it wasn't like tight, right? It was close, but it wasn't tight. So he could have just like, like he could just pull that, but he freaked out. He went like doing in between the jaws. And then he got so freaking pissed. He got so pissed at me in front of my daughter. He was like, why would you do that? You were a centimeter away from cracking my skull. Like, he was so angry. Like, you gotta see this Allosaurus in Science World. It's so like shabby, right? It's not like robotic thing that's gonna crunch your skull into bits. It's little shabby, like small metal handle, like smaller. It's like 1/10 of the car wheels. Like, it's so little shabby little thing. And then my husband got so angry, he yelled at me from my daughter, said, "Why would you do that? You almost cracked my skull!" And I was trying so hard not to laugh at his face. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh. And then I kind of whispered into Luna's ear, I'm like, that was kind of funny, wasn't it? And she said, yeah. Oh man. I think he almost died. You put it onto the list of I think I almost died. It was another, and then a day later, I was like, man, you were so angry at me for like, when we woke up. There's actually a tooth mark on his head. It's a little dented and red. And then I looked at it, and he's like, yeah, I got really freaked out yesterday. Almost got my skull crunched. And I was like, no, like, I can see the mark, but it's not, there was no way your skull would have gotten crunched. And like, this Allosaurus skull is missing teeth, not to mention. And he's like, do you realize how sharp the dinosaurs' teeth are? And I was like, yeah, those real dinosaurs' teeth that's over 50 million years old is hella sharp. And he's like, my head would have been turned into Swiss cheese. And I was like, no, there was no way that was gonna happen. And then he was looking at the mirror, and he was touching the little dent in his skull, and he's like, oh, it looks like frigged up. Did he show you on stream? Did he show you? Did he show, like, the cysty Allosaurus teeth mark? almost got eaten by an Allosaurus. Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh, it was so funny. There was not even close that my dude was on the death door. Do you really think I would have snapped his skull in half with this little dinky ass plastic Allosaurus skull? No chance, dude. No chance. Oh, it was really funny. He would have been fine if he just stayed there. But he freaked out and he just bonked his head off the top of the jaw and the bottom of the jaw of the Allosaurus for a double headshot. I did not give him the double headshot. He gave himself a double headshot. But imagine the news headline, like a wife accidentally murders her husband in a children's science center with a plastic dinosaur head. Oh man. Dude, if I recorded it, like, it would have been deleted. Ryan was angry. He was legit angry. He wasn't like, haha, funny, haha, don't do that, haha, funny, I'm angry. It wasn't that. He was angry, dude. He was angry. What do you mean I should have not done that? What do you mean? I did not close him in. I did not close him in. I was trying to get it as close as possible before it actually hurts him. Like, before it actually touches him. But he just freaked out. He just freaked out. It wasn't my fault for him to freak out, okay? I didn't know he was such a wussy. I didn't know. But I guess I should have known. I wasn't closing it slowly. I was closing it fast because I was having fun. I mean, it's kind of true. It's not my fault that my husband is a coward. Why are you blaming that on me? But he got a dent in his head because he freaked out and he boinked his head onto the top of the Allosaurus. At the bottom of the Allosaurus's jaw. I did not tell him. I did not close him in to get him a dent. I did not cause the dent. He caused the dent. You brought the element of chaos. But first, I asked Ryan to put his head into the Allosaurus's mouth. And he said, okay. So it wasn't me like strapped in. It's not like I strapped him in a chair with a rope and I strapped him inside of a Allosaurus's skull. I said, hey Ryan, put your head through that Allosaurus's mouth. I'm gonna close you in. And he said, okay. And then he put his head in there. So there was an agreement. It was an agreement. Did you tell him you're going to close it on him? Yeah, I did. But he freaked out because I went fast. He didn't think I would go fast. But he should know that I would go fast. Because I always go fast. I'm not a killer. What the fuck? It was just a joke. It was just a joke. And now it became... I'm a murderer? I think it's 50-50. You know what? I'll give you that. 50% on me, 50% on Ryan. 50% because I went fast. And then 50% on Ryan by panicking and hitting his own head. With the 50 million years ago died Allosaurus's skeleton. 51% Ryan, 49% Kate. What if she got away with 50-50? I had no intention to crack his head. And nor did I crack his head. He panicked and it's like, hey, let's go skateboarding. It's like, yeah, sure. Skateboarding is fun. But then my younger brother panicked and fell and just bonked his head. And then he goes, Mommy. She told me to skate. I wasn't gonna skate. I was just gonna stay at home and play video game. But she told me to skate. Like, it wasn't my fault that he fell and hurt himself. It's more like you scare someone in halfway. It was... Okay, I did not scare Ryan. He got scared at his own fear. If he said stop, I would have stopped. I didn't scare Ryan. He got scared of himself. But you went fast though? I mean, okay, to be fair, the mouth of Allosaurus opens up more wide than the human mouth. So in order to close his head close so that it looks like Allosaurus is eating him, I had to go fast. So I'm like, you know, I have to go fast, man. Whatever. He's alive. Don't worry about it. He's fine. He's alive and he's fine. He's been farting. And you know, actually, yesterday, when I'm next to Ryan, he does not fart. But whenever I'm not next to him, he farts. Including when my daughter is next to him, he farts. And I didn't really care because, you know, when I'm not there, he doesn't... When I'm not there, like, he farts, whatever. I don't really see that happening, whatever. But then yesterday, Luna said, Daddy, why do you always fart in my room? And I freaking laughed so hard. And then we have air filters, right? And when Ryan always goes next to air filter, our air filter goes... It's crazy. I thought our air filter broke. But I think our air filter is right. Does he shower? He showers? He showers every day. But I think he farts every day too. So the fart particle is always lingering around him. Like, you know how when there's a planet and there's like a moon? His moon is like the fart moon. He's like a little gas planet. Particle. It's not fart particle, it's particle. That's pretty good. I like that one.
I'm malicious, mean, and scary. My sneer could curdle dairy. And violence-wise, my hands are not the cleanest. But despite my evil look, and my temper and my hook, I've always yearned to be a concert pianist. Can't you see me on the stage performing Mozart, twinkling the ivories till they gleam? Though I do like breaking femurs, you can count me with the dreamers. Cause way down deep inside I've got a dream. I've got a dream. He's got a dream.